All right, disclaimer. So we put up a target, you're actually shooting pellets. Don't hold them accountable for the accuracy. Unbox that gun, it's horribly inaccurate. I have not yet had a chance to even hop it up.
He's being nice, I'm a horrible shooter, and that's completely okay.
The thing was 10 inches off at 25 feet when I tested it. So, you know, if it's on paper, you're doing good.
Yeah.
So one of the things we were just talking about is the importance of learning your body mechanics, the kinesthetic aim and the proprioception. And proprioception is your body's ability to know where it is in space, right? And so having that grip such that once the heel is in the pocket, and as soon as that cone comes up against your cheek weld, you should be capable at that point of pulling the trigger and being on target, right? Because part of what we do here is our kinesthetic aiming is using our own body as part of the process, and this is part of the flashlight picture, natural point aiming, etc. If my shoulders are lined up with your shoulders, or my centers lined up with yours, and I hold this firearm in front of my face, where do you think that round's going to go, right? First of all, if I hold it level in front of my face, if he's my same height, it's going to hit him in the face, which is not what we want our first rounds to do. So as you practice this, we're going to push him a little bit over time, probably not too much today, but we're going to get this down to a very fast, so you don't have time to actually use your sights, and what you end up doing is looking down your sights. That being said, I would highly encourage you never to train with the red dot and never train with the laser. I love them, and everybody should have them. However, in the training aspects for this, you'll find yourself myelinating bad behaviors because you'll start punching out and you're looking for the dot. Where's my dot? And it can take you a quarter of a second or half a second to find it, and you're cheating your body's ability to learn how to absolutely punch out on target, pull the trigger, right? So when we start exercising, I usually have people turn that off if we can, or in this case, you don't have one at all. So, all right. So, you ready?
7 seconds.
7 seconds again. We're going to try to get you down to 5 seconds before the end of the day. So, right now we're at 7. So you ready?
Ready.
Stand by. Up. Sorry. Use the beat.
Okay. Well.
So that absolute proof right there, you just haven't myelinated. You still have to think about that, right? So when first of all, you never point your gun at anything you're not willing to destroy. That's so the minute you point your gun in, you are willing to destroy it. Therefore, you can only destroy it if the safety's on.
Right.
That becomes part of the same motion. That's one of the reasons you want to really control your training environment. You don't be training if you don't have a safe wall, thinking that you can train by not taking your safety off, because you'll myelinate bad behavior, right?
Right.
You ready?
Right.
Okay.
I know the safety did not go back down.
Okay, good for you for knowing that. I also saw, interestingly enough, you dropped your forearm and you were pinning the gun intentionally. Your hand was like this. Why?
I don't know, I have a natural tendency just from like when I was working with that circuit gun first to bring this hand to my chest.
Oh, okay. As long as that was your reasoning, you weren't worried about that flopping around, right? Okay. But when your hand goes out, yeah, make sure. That's cool.
Okay.
That's cool. I know what you're doing. All right. You gonna do something again? You drop to 6.
Let's go 6.
Sorry. Okay, start ignition. 7, 6. There we go. Like I said, next week we'll dig out the simunition gun, so now you have active live fire on both platforms, so we'll be able to get a really good point. All right, 5.5.
Okay.
Nice. Safety on?
Yes.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah, we're good. Down, thing right down.
Yeah, that holster, that's I will testify, you certainly didn't have it properly holstered. Is it the flashlight?
Could be. It's like such a perfect angle for this.
Yeah.
So
That may be part of it, safety or security, but we also don't want to talk to factors.
Yeah, I think I'll go into, I'm off on Monday. I'll go into Curtis where I bought it and they can adjust it.
Yeah.
It could just be that it's canted. I think they can change that.
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah. All right.
So I will say this, for transparency.
Sure.
This is such a, introducing an AR to also having the changes to the 17 and changes to the holster.
Okay.
That just goes to show like how many different things we're throwing in, variables. And for anybody watching this, if you've ever been in a situation where you literally have to pull your firearm, the one thing that you never really can account for are variables.
Right.
And the little things that you don't expect. So this, as much as it's kind of embarrassing to have a camera, I love it because I know for a fact that if I have to pull this at work today, it might be best just to keep it out and not have to put it back in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
in a situation. So these are all great things that you have to train for.
It's funny you say that. I mean, honestly, this is a big part of my martial arts background that I bring forward as I tell people is, when I was in the martial arts and I trained for years, you never felt like that, the forms and things like that you were doing, you play these out and you're like, this is never going to happen like this. This is what I'm training. But if you train long enough, then eventually when the motions and the movements become muscle memories, then all of a sudden, that's when all of a sudden you go, my gosh, I can move without thinking. So the repetitions and the time that you're putting in, even with the hiccups and with the glitches, right, overcoming those, it's the same repetition over and over and over, makes it so you can actually spend mental energy on fixing problems, not drawing your weapon. So it is huge.
A couple more of these and then maybe one or two clear.
Yep, absolutely. Don't shoot, I get up. Just threw a curveball at you. Well done. All right, I'm dropping you in 5 seconds, bud.
Okay.
This was our goal today. Which, if you think about it, your first one took 10 on your own. You're already up to 5 seconds, so that's pretty damn good. Excellent. A little choppy at the beginning. You're starting to already tend to let this drip way over here. So, which is, and there's nothing really wrong with that except in a gunfight, that's an eighth of a second, a quarter of a second that you're going to have to transition from here to here. And that could be the difference between getting shot and not, right? So just think about that. Some of this is, wow, isn't this cool? And it hangs over here and it's very comfortable, it's very relaxed, but it also costs you time. So I'm not going to correct you, I'm not going to tell you one way or the other, but I will tell you if you get into a nervous situation, if you're on call to go clear something or you're expecting trouble, then I would highly recommend you stage that appropriately for a quick roll out. So just to recap that, remember we're talking about making sure that the heel sticks right in here so that when you lift it, you just roll it. It's the same thing we do with the stool, right? From stool here, the reason we hold it here at heart level is when I go hook and I have to pull the trigger here, it is appropriate. If I'm down here at this interview position, which you see a lot of people, then all of a sudden I have to roll and I'm either going to gut shoot you or I'm going to lift and potentially shoot right over your shoulder, your head, etc. Right?
All right, cool.